Hello, transformative leaders. My capstone has transitioned a lot, and here's what I was saying last semester.
Weekly or bi-weekly workshop series sort of thing. These workshops will look something like group work, partner work, one-on-one work, reflective prompts, journaling, dialogue, arts, figuring a way to weave nature in, allowing curiosity to stay alive, observing ourselves, observing each other.
And as I reflect on how different my capstone is now, it still has some of the same core elements there. Because I realized that I was talking a lot about online offerings that I was going to be doing. And my truth is I do not enjoy being primarily online. I'm still very much relationally focused, and I am still going to be facilitating and creating spaces for one-on-one work, group work, and larger organizational work. We're going to be reflecting on the relationships within ourselves and outside of ourselves. I took part in organizing and hosting a conference in this March, with some TLD students and some TSD students. I basically didn't realize that I could use the Monterey conference as my capstone. And when I realized this, I thought, well, hell yeah. Plus, that pretty much opened the floodgates internally, reminding me the skill set that I've been honing in for years, and that I want to be in person primarily. This does not mean I will not be doing any online offerings. Shortly after hosting the Monterey conference, it seemed the floodgates opened up outside of me as well. I have been invited into multiple in-person collaborations, and I'm also working more diligently on my personal practice called Open Compass. And it implements everything that I'm speaking about, how to weave nature in to these reflective relational practices. And these in-person gatherings that I will be hosting will incorporate accountability buddy components. There will be a network that we can develop on site in person, and that people can tend and cultivate on their own outside of our gatherings. The container is not just the room itself, the container is what the group creates. It feels like my capstone hasn't changed so much. I'm still right there alongside my core values, and in fact, I'm more in alignment with my core values, where I'm spending less time on the screens and more time on the ground, meeting with people in person, going to local business owners and speaking about collaborations, ways that we can be in relationship that benefit both their work and mine, and offer more accessibility and creativity and diversity to the communities. It just showed me so much how people want to interact and engage with each other, how much people gain momentum, energy, inspiration by being in the same room together and sharing their ideas. How I didn't necessarily need to prompt everything or facilitate everything. There were some pieces to put in place, like the core elements of a recipe, and a lot happened in those in-between spaces organically. People wanted to share more about their work. People were inquiring naturally about each other's work, finding the overlaps and suggesting ways to work together in the future. I also noticed once the container was open for the weekend, pretty much nobody wanted to disband from it. So we had our first outdoor nature presentation practice exercise session. We went for lunch. Everyone stuck together for lunch. We had extended breaks, and then we had a second session of presentations, which was indoor. Everyone was carpooling. We had a later dinner so that everybody could have a longer extended break time between the last indoor session and dinner. And I just noticed the strong bonds and relationships that felt very alive and vibrant the entire time. Using creativity to interrupt dysfunctional and dysregulating patterns. And I want to help people see how they can do that within themselves in micro moments, in micro creations, micro practices that they can create, and we can co-design these sustainable, consistent practices these micro moments will ignite the larger change. They pave the road for the big collective change.